Hi everyone, welcome to this week, December 12th community call. We're few but good ones. Got cozy meeting. So I think we all went through the agenda items. Antonio, you joined a little later, so if you have anything else to add to the agenda, you can do it in the meantime. I can drive. Anyone wants to take notes? Thank you, Madhur. All right. So first topic. Well, rewinding. Congrats on the release last week. No bigger issues, or I haven't seen anything major. So that's great. Yeah, I took a screenshot of Andrea's or San Andrea, GTA San Andrea. Yeah, don't go psych on in Stockholm. Like we hear at the news, crazy Italian goes GTA on in Stockholm or whatever. Anyway, um, so first topic in the agenda, meeting recordings. I put that one mostly because I've been trying to keep up with the recordings and post them. It is difficult because it's a lot of context switch. So long term, would be good for us to have like a backup or a sort of automation or something like this. Just putting out there. I think Nicholas was proposing also to explore having the calls with Discord, and possibly that can help with the automation. I don't know. I'm old and not a hipster. So I don't know the automation between all of those things. But in general, if I can get help, that would be beneficial.
I, 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 I don't know how hard it is, but maybe we can try to do a live streaming on YouTube. So then it's automatically published.
Yes. Well, actually, now we also have, I think we can maybe we can use StreamYard as well. But I think the problem with these is managing multiple people in the call. So
I think, yeah, I don't really know. I think that there is a way so that basically one has to install some kind of app like OBB for Windows at least. I
yeah.
don't know and then OBB basically records the screen and streamcast it to YouTube. So maybe it's hacky, but it should work. Anyway, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't want,
Okay.
and surely I don't want to investigate. Yes.
I was just asking, I was just going to ask, so are you um how do you say? Are you
Proposing.
proposing to help with this with your
I mean, I
Windows
can
machine?
try. Okay, if you want, I can try to investigate. It's not my favorite
No,
thing.
that's fine. I think it's probably a waste of time. Uh, in the sense that I think I can check with Sophia or Valeria or the people that do that often. They probably have more
Mhm.
more insights. I'm surprised that you have a Windows machine though.
I have a dual boot old laptop, and I used it because I wanted to try OBB at some point. Yes.
Okay, there you go. Cool. Anything on this before we move? On it once, twice. Cool. Release next week. That's mine. I was talking with Andrea this morning, and we basically had the release last week. In the meantime, there were a few bug fixes. Andrea put an important one this morning. And by the way, Andrea, I don't know if you already got reviews, but if not, as soon as we finish this PR, I can give some reviews and we can merge.
No review so far.
Okay, I'll review it right after.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm super supportive. We have bug fixes. I'm planning on adding the things I was planning on adding end of last week anyway. Basically, some support for media devices and camera, etc. to PyDome/PyWeb. So if we can make it all for next week, I think that makes it a nice less release for the year. Or next week, or maybe Friday. Actually, probably Friday is better because I think both Andrea and Nicholas are here. Any concerns or any opinions around it, either in favor or against it? Cool. I think that as a let's do it.
Sorry.
Yeah, Andrea.
I'll be slow. Why not Friday instead of next week if we manage?
Yeah.
Because just
Friday is
because
perfect.
Nicholas is
Yes.
around the rest of the week.
Yeah. That's honestly we actually discussed that earlier. So my fault, brain fart. I totally spaced out.
I know people usually don't like to release on Friday, but if there are a few small things that we tested that we are confident, maybe, I don't know. I will be around next week anyway, so if there's something really bad, or over to the weekend, if something really breaks badly, I don't know.
Yeah, YOLO. I agree. I think we're pretty stable. Like the changes were minor as well, I think. Well, I still have to review your PR, but
Sure.
so far I think. How much can you have added in a couple of days? Cool. Any other opinions or concerns? All right. So let's aim for Friday. The next topic is mine as well. It's just like as we go into the holiday season and we are all taking time, etc. One thing would be good to think about the next major things we want to add, new features and stuff. I think we have a few themes of things we want to keep moving forward. The higher level APIs, Python APIs is one. The PyEditor, like improvements and possibly a notebook stuff, type of widget is another one. But if you have either ideas now that you want to share, or just take some time over the next couple of weeks as we detach our brains. If you think something, put a discussion on, and let's make sure that we start the year with a good idea of the next features we want to put into the roadmap. But for now, as far as I remember, the next things are really focusing, as we discussed in the previous meetings, the two that I mentioned, focusing on better docs, better reaching out to the community, and things like this. Any opinions on this? All right. Cool. Next one, Andrea has a demo, Christmas demo.
Yeah, so Nicholas asked, can I share my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Can you see the docs? Yeah.
Yep.
Can you see my screen? Cool. So Nicholas proposed to have Christmas card written in PyScript. And so I decided to give it a try. It was a quick one, and in doing so, I found a lot of little gotchas, but or known gotchas, and I would like to show you the result. So this is my Christmas card. This is the picture I showed. I showed today. It's me carrying my daughter through the snow and a lot of trees and the snow and awesome. And the idea was to bring snow to any card and write something at the bottom. In this case, it's just Merry MPy Christmas because this is MPy version. I can select a tree and it changes automatically, and I can select Santa, and yeah, this is just that's pretty much it. And another thing, I can resize. It looks it still looks kind of good. Well, if it's too short, I don't know. Well, it shrinks the text, but otherwise it's fine.
Pretty cool.
At least it looks fine to me. And yeah, so the nitty-gritty behind the scene. We released the JS module, so I thought, hey, how about we demo a mix of either Pyodide or MicroPython, and the fact we can now with the TOML we can define the JS modules main, and so stuff that should land as a module in Python, and then we can demo either MPy or Py. And now I'm gonna just quickly refresh these, and well, it takes Pyodide a little more time to bootstrap, but showing me Merry and Pie Christmas. That this is not what I was expecting, because it should say Merry. Oh, this was a bad copy and paste. Merry Pie Christmas, and yeah, so it does the same. It works the same because there's not much. That's the theory. In practice, I didn't try this, and I don't know why now is. Oh, damn it! It's still another. Okay, the demo effect. I don't know. I tried this, I don't know how many times. This should not break, and it was working until now, but this is something about the proxy that I'm using that is not either good enough, or I'm doing something bad because I don't know. But anyway, so you've seen the demo, and the thing is that well, we import PyScript core. In this case, is the latest release, and for MicroPython only, we still need this kind of ugly dance to trash modules on the global, because MicroPython has some known issue, and there are also issues filed in MicroPython repository about the inability to fully use the proxy. So the proxy doesn't have some trap, and some proxy trap fails, and so the auto-magically resolve the module from the JavaScript word doesn't really works, and that's pretty bad. But it works well with Py. So if I kind of remove entirely this part, and I'm using PyScript, sorry, Pyodide, everything works out of the box. And in Pyodide, indeed, you can see that we are importing from PyScript the window, the document, the JS modules, and from the JS modules, I'm just grabbing the export snowflakes from the module. The module is just a very little simple silly JS file that exports a class. Nothing special about this. It's a pretty standard way you create n snowflakes, and you update snowflakes in either set interval or request animation frame, and per each snowflake you update the way it goes down, and if it goes outside the window, you recalculate basically where the flake should be. And so the JavaScript part is not super interesting. The JS module, this runs best on main, best because I'm using a few things that don't really work seamlessly yet in workers. First of all, request animation frame in workers is a bit too greedy, because it tries to reach 60 frames per second, and there could be overlaps of frames. So actually I thought, yeah, that should be good enough. That is actually in some case becomes a bit sketchy. So I avoid the worker, not just for this reason. The other reason is that in the code, if we see the Pyodide implementation, but it's the same for the MicroPython. I'm using window URL create object URL with the files that we just selected. So we have the image is an input type file, and when it changes, it invokes this callback, and this callback receives an event with the target and files. When I try to do this from a worker, and this is something I need to understand, I have a weird error on Pyodide. I cannot subscribe somehow the files 0, which is correct, which is because this is some sort of JavaScript blob thing that doesn't necessarily translate well in Python. So I might actually bother Hood one day about this. While in MicroPython, I have the issue that create object URL is not somehow discovered from the URL itself namespace, which is annoying, and I think is still related to the fact that some proxy trap is missing in the MicroPython world. So, but on the main thread, somehow this works perfectly, no issues whatsoever. And so I can just create an object URL with the first files that I have selected, because the input type file is not multiple, so it's just a single file. I'm sure that it's only one file that I need to change. I changed the car style background image with a URL that brings the points at this runtime created object URL. And then you've seen that when I select a new image, that appears, at least in MicroPython, appears, and the snow keeps flowing without any issue. Snowflakes is just while I'm resizing, instead of stretching the canvas, which will look ugly both for the text and the snows, because the flakes becomes like ellipsoids instead of circles. So I need to stop flakes and create a new effect over the card, and write in that card Merry Pie Christmas or Merry Christmas. And so that's actually the demo. So there is some Python dealing with some JS module and using listeners on the page, and changing images. We could do more, but for the demo's sake, I stopped here. One thing that still bothers me is the constant need for Pyodide to create proxy and create once and all this kind of stuff that users need to think about, because at the end of the day, they have already finalization registry that already hooks into the language and already flags stuff that should be released whenever it's not used anymore in the JavaScript world. But this is not about this demo. This is a deeper discussion that maybe one day we will have with the Pyodide folks. That's it really, and then that's the demo. So Atomo with JS module main, a way to import that module and use it directly in Python, in Pyodide, and a little page that does this. The final result is just this one.
Awesome. This is great. Actually, I think it would be a cool example that actually demonstrates the JS modules now. Yeah.
Did you write the snowflakes JS, or you took it from somewhere?
I did write this kind of effect. I don't know how many times in my life, but this one was like, there was an example, a demo. Yeah, the whole thing requires a lot of credits and copyrights all over the place, which is why I haven't published this officially yet anywhere. But if it's needed, I will need to add a lot of credits here and there. So the example of the snowflakes is more about the sin and cos functionality that I never bothered. For me, it was just one side, and I've seen, oh, this is cool, and then I created the class. So what you see here, this flake and this snowflake class, these both two do not exist online. There are a few things that I've simplified, a few things that I've changed, but yeah, this code in particular, when the flake goes somewhere else, how to reposition it, or yeah, these two functions
We are not seeing your screen now. But yeah, I just want, I was just curious whether you wrote it from scratch or you took it from somewhere.
I can quickly show you if I find Zoom again. You're right, sorry, I wasn't sharing anymore. So what I've seen online is this functionality to update the movement, the wave. And everything else you see in here is just a list of flakes that you draw on the canvas. And this is common thing. So for that functionality, also the write text is nothing you see in here is a copy and paste from anything else. These two functionalities, which is just, I guess, I don't know, trigonometry, math, I don't know. But these two I copied from an example that I need to write down the credits, and the same goes for the font. The font I've used was from that font, I think, and that's it. Also, the styles are pretty much made up for this demo, and so no copy and paste, but yeah, if we want to publish this, I need to specify
sure. I mean, yeah.
code inspired by this tutorial that I've seen with the cosine scene and the right license for the font, yeah, the Merry Christmas font that I've used.
The other thing that was thinking in my head was whether it would work if we write the animation code in Python, but it might be too slow.
So no, this it will work. To me, I started writing in JavaScript because I didn't have much time to write this. So I thought, okay, let's write in JavaScript and then I will bring it to Python. But before doing that, I tried to integrate JavaScript in Python to demo the JS modules feature. And at the same time, I realized that there were a few things that were not working out of the box. And first of all, especially in worker land, but otherwise, theoretically, all of this should work. But if we want to refine and provide a full Python implementation of this, we can do that. Still, we have a worker issue because of URL, create object URL. And we need to, from the worker, we need to figure out what's the best way to have a request animation frame that doesn't trigger too greedily on the main thread.
Okay,
But that's pretty much it.
It's not obvious. Yes, I agree. I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Anything else for Andrea? Awesome. Yeah, so if in the next days you figure out the copyright and other stuff, that I do think this would be a great example. Otherwise we can figure out another one that showcases the JS feature. But yeah, thank you, Andrea. Anything else before we move on?
Oh, sorry. The two pictures also are completely grabbed from the internet, and those should have credits too. Not mine, but the other two, yes.
Yeah, no worries. So next topic is Antonio's mixed Python JS dependencies.
Yeah, I mean, this is more like kind of a question/discussion of something which I've not written yet. But the idea for today, if I had time, but I didn't, was to try. I wanted to write a small Python wrapper for MQTT, since last time people were interested in it. And so the idea was to take a JavaScript MQTT library and try to wrap it in Python. And if I understand correctly, now with the new JS modules config option, we can easily integrate JavaScript modules in a PyScript project. And then I was thinking, then it would be nice to publish it on PyPI, and so that like people can like use packages equal PyScript MQTT, whatever is the name. And then the obvious next question is what do we have a plan, and what is it, or should we think about it, how to publish packages which have Python and JavaScript dependencies? Because I don't think it's something that it's possible to do now. Do you understand my question? Like
Can you repeat, especially the last?
Imagine that I want to publish a package on PyPI, which includes some Python modules and some JavaScript files. And the JavaScript files should be loaded somehow in PyScript. And it would be nice to be able to do in pyconfig packages equal blah, 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 and then I have the JavaScript dependencies automatically resolved. But I don't think that
Yes.
we have the infrastructure for it. I don't know what is the best way to proceed. And so it was just like kind of thinking
And
that I
you're
was.
thinking about pure Python packages served from PyPI type of.
What?
You're thinking of basically pure Python packages that you pip install.
Yeah, the pure Python package, but which depends on some JavaScript. So which assumes that some JavaScript library is available.
Yeah.
I think that what we can do currently is to say, okay, in order to use packages equal blah blah blah, then you also have this you need to also you put these JS modules equal blah blah blah.
That
But
yes. Yeah. That is there are different. Sorry, did you finish?
no, the
Okay. I've discussed that with Philip as well, and it's been kind of I've been eyeballing that as well because there are use cases where this happens, right? And in general, I think the problem is if we grow it a little, there are packages that require some post setup or some setup when you import them or you use them. Like the ones using JavaScript libraries is one of them. But even just would be nice if we just supported requests and we auto patched with Pyodide HTTP or something like this.
oh, that's a
So
different. I see. But yeah,
yeah,
So,
it's a different thing, but I see that as like a similar type of
vaguely related. Yes.
yeah.
so just an update. Apparently, in the Pyodide repository, request is now supported, and a PR for it was recently merged. And I think it is unrelated to the Pyodide HTTP package, so it is a different approach, if I recall correctly.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then this example is soon to be obsolete. And I don't know if we have others, but in general, like yes, I think the
Yes, you want your lib, for example. Yeah. There are other things that we want to
others,
do.
yes, exactly.
Matplotlib, you would like some new backend by default or anything like this. So yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've been back and forth. There are two main approaches that I've been thinking or came up in discussions. One is like the explicit package maintainers need to do something that where we basically find additional assets and we load them or inject in the page or something like this. Or we can also the other approach is that for the packages that we know we need to load specific JavaScript files or CSS or whatever it is, we basically write a plugin that when intercepts the configs of the app, and then based on those imports, it after pip installing, it basically loads the CSS or JavaScript or whatever. But I think it requires a larger discussion. But yes, I agree. This is a very
Yes, I know. I'm sure that we cannot come up with a solution. Probably we need to update the wheel format to add this new metadata or something like this. So it's not something, but I think it's worth started.
But you can add external like the third-party dependencies or vendor in files and stuff. The problem is that then we also need to load on the page, and that's the extra
If you
step.
want to embed the JavaScript files, yes. But for example, what if you want to say I want to import from some CDN?
Right, but then that case, package maintainers would have to do it explicitly
Yeah,
on
sure.
their side.
Like imagine,
Okay.
I imagine that I can imagine people starting to write Python wrappers for JavaScript libraries.
Yes, a lot. Yeah.
PyQuery, the wrapper for jQuery, and ideally you would like to install PyQuery and not jQuery, and jQuery should be handled automatically. But okay,
Yeah.
it might be maybe it's too early to talk about this because we don't understand exactly what is the problem. I agree.
yeah, could be. But yes, I think we're agreeing on it's worth a discussion. Andrea.
So what we can do now is importing without needing to trash on the global context anything, and we can disambiguate between main and worker, but this is all PyScript specific orchestration out of the way we read the config and out of the way we orchestrate the import from PyScript JS modules. So there's some logic behind. I don't see that orchestration. Either we provide our own micropip version of PyScript modules, so we create modules based out of the box on PyScript, and we find a way to embed from CDN those libraries, or I don't see how that can be like part of Pyodide offer in terms of micropip packages management.
Sorry, I lost you halfway.
There is a need to orchestrate the import from the JS into the Python world, and that's what we do in PyScript, but that doesn't come automatically from Pyodide package manager. So where should these modules land? I don't think they can land in Pyodide. We either offer an alternative package manager that fallbacks to micropip if nothing is known, or I don't know. Either we offer our own version of packages when we need like packages passed through our own manager, and if that name is not there, then it passes it falls back automatically to micropip. I don't know how this can work, but I don't think Pyodide can offer this kind of flexibility.
Yeah, I don't think Pyodide itself. I think that
but I mean, oh, okay, sorry, go on.
just to close, I think not Pyodide itself, but just how pip works and how Python packages installation works. I do think packages can just they can carry JavaScript and whatever assets they need, right? Like they can. A lot of Python, a lot of the installed packages in Pyodide are just zip files, and you can put anything you want there. The missing piece is how those packages communicate that we need to load specific assets in the page. And yes, for that, I think that we'll need to figure out either a convention or something that we need to change or add to the whole installation process. But yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is that we have that convention already in PyScript, right? So we have a config with specified modules that lands, and we can import from those modules. So that's already, to me, a convention, or isn't it?
Yes, but we don't have a convention where we know, oh, if you're a Python package that has resources, this is where you declare them. So we auto load for you. So take panel, for instance, right? Panel, you install the Python package, but you still need to go in the page and put in the headers CDN blob, okay version, panel widgets, blah, blah, blah. There's like a 5-6 other script imports that you need to do. I'd like for us to be able to load those dynamically, transparently, so that the user just installs panel and they have what they need in the page. Like ideally, we'll see. We'll have to figure out. But yeah. Any other comments on this topic? Mador, given that it's kind of, well, probably your topic is a little different. So you have the next one.
Yeah, so basically I was trying to port the D3 example, which Fabio already raised a PR for. And then rather than, importing, I mean, we have a copy of d3.min.js in that project, but I was thinking of trying to use the new JS modules feature. And I know Andrea told that it has to be an ESM module. But considering that, yeah, I'm not much familiar with all these terms. So I'm just asking, how do you figure out, is it really the extension? And what if some JavaScript module is not really available? Is there a way to convert, um, let's say D3 min.js to whatever the ESM module would constitute?
I think these days everyone is publishing counter ECMAScript module counterpart because it's been around since 2015. So I will be surprised if the 3.3 module doesn't have a CDN. But if you go to JS Deliver, actually, if you do ESM run slash D3, I believe that's already, I can put in the chat, but if you type in your URL in your browser esm.run/d3, it brings you to the CD JS Deliver that gives you the D3 as a module. I'm not using D3 these days, but it's exporting stuff from other modules as an ESM. So whenever you think you want to use modules, don't use min.js, because min.js is usually legacy stuff that lands as a minified file to land on the global context. But both CDN and more updated or recent modules, they all offer somehow either they trust the CDN to do that for you, which is what esm.run does, or JS Deliver, or they write in the list of CDNs that you can use. They're like Pyodide does. They have the JS. Then a lot of people use MJS to be explicit by the extension that that's the module, JavaScript module. But that's not super needed on the web, so you just need to be sure that whatever you're importing is actually in a module format. And in this case, you have a lot of CDNs that give you that for free.
Yeah, and so one is this, thank you for this, but I also, this JS module stuff is already released in 12.1, right?
Sorry?
This JS modules feature is already released in 12.1, right?
Yeah, I just demoed that with the
Yeah,
it won't
exactly.
work on MicroPython, but it does work on Pyodide. So with the script type Py, yeah.
Okay, I recall having facing some issue about can't really recognize JS module stuff. But I'll check again.
I'd be happy to answer in Friday because I'm off tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
sure. No worries.
But
I'm just gonna try to reproduce that example again using this, because I was inclined to create one example that uses JS modules.
So there are smoke test, integration test, and I think there are all kind of tests and demos and stuff. So if you need anything or something doesn't work, it's possible that something doesn't work. But in general, if it's a module, you reach it through from PyScript import JS underscore module, and you can reach the module, and that works. Like I can test every demo I have around that is using that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
something
sure.
works. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah. Cool. I'm gonna have a retry. Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else, either on this topic or in general? Cool. Then I think that's it for today. I'll say happy holidays to you all as well. I'm gonna be out next week, so y'all enjoy, have fun, and take time to spend with your families and stuff. And see you all soon. Thank you,
Thank you
folks.
very much.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Have fun, Andrea.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Hope to
safe
see
travels
you,
back.
or happy holidays to you all. Take care. Bye.